What the fuck is Kamen Rider? Kamen Rider is every nerd's dream come true. Men in bug costumes fighting evil and being stylish while doing it. Kamen Rider is a series that spans way back in the early 70s. 1971 to be exact. It was created by Shotaro Ishinomori and is a pretty fucking good show. But an important thing to know about Kamen Rider is that it's divided into two eras. First you have the Showa era, which was from 1971 to 1994, and the Heisei era, which was from 2000s to, well, right now. For this video, we're gonna focus primarily on the Heisei era, since it's the one that I'm the most knowledgeable about, and since it's the series or the era that I started with. So sit back, relax, and let's talk about some nerd shit, shall we? Kamen Rider is a show that spans over countless seasons, going from the original Kamen Rider, to Kamen Rider Build, to Kamen Rider Drive, to Kamen Rider W. And those are only 4 out of the long list of series that Kamen Rider is known for. But don't worry, it may sound like a lot, but Kamen Rider is a show that you can practically jump into any season because all of them are very much standalone. There are a few that have movies and tie-ins with each other, but honestly, you don't have to watch them. They're not really necessary. I mean, if you want to watch them, go the right fuck ahead. I ain't stopping you. I'm just a voice on the internet. There's a bit of everything for everyone in Kamen Rider, so watch whatever you want. But if you want to do more research for yourself, I'd recommend watching The History of Kamen Rider by Marcosatsu, where he tackles a bunch of different Kamen Rider series. The link in the description down below. But enough about that, let's talk about my favorite Kamen Rider series, Kamen Rider Double. Yes, I know that's a W, but bear with me, please. Kamen Rider Double is a series about a detective named Shotaro and his partner Philip. They investigate cases that have to do with Gaia memories. They're kind of like these USB devices that transform people into monsters, but in the case of Shotaro and Philip, they transform into Kamen Rider Double. Cyclone Joker! Cyclone Joker! My favorite fucking Kamen Rider design, by the way. I don't know what it is about Kamen Rider Double that just instantly clicks with me. I don't know if it's the primary color for Kamen Rider W, or if it's the fact that whenever Shotaro or Philip is talking, each eye glows to indicate which one's talking. If the right eye glows, then it's Philip. If it's the left eye, it's Shotaro. It's super cool design, and I just fucking love it, man. But for those of you that actually heard me, yes, Kamen Rider Double is actually 2 people. Kamen Rider W is probably the easiest Kamen Rider to get into. The story for it is so much more basic, but interesting in many ways and keeps you entertained with the action the show provides. When I say Kamen Rider W is an easy show for you to get into, it really is. I jumped into Kamen Rider Double as my first Kamen Rider series ever since Kamen Rider Dragon Knight, and I just clicked with it, and I became a Kamen Rider fan ever since. But yeah, that's one of my recommendations. Aside from Double, we also have Kamen Rider Den-O, which is a Kamen Rider series where we follow a group of friends on a time-traveling train to fight monsters called Image. Yeah, you heard me, a time-traveling train. To be honest, if you really want to get into Kamen Rider, I also recommend this one, because of the lighthearted characters you meet in the series that are filled with personality, and it's also an all-around fun time. Go! Aside from those series, we got a localized Kamen Rider series here in the West called Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. Kamen Rider Dragon Knight features our main character Kit Taylor fighting off other Kamen Riders and aliens to defend Earth. Although some fans in the Kamen Rider community will say that it's not the best Kamen Rider, but it's honestly a personal favorite. I remember watching this show every single Thursday when I come back from school with my brother, and we would just watch this show and just be amazed at how fucking cool it was. It was our first ever interaction with Kamen Rider, and it was a pretty good one. We even bought the toys, which were kinda dumb, but we still had fun anyways. But if you do want to get into a more serious Kamen Rider series, I'd recommend watching Kamen Rider Amazons, or Amazon Riders as it's known worldwide. I say this series is more for a mature audience because there is, and I repeat, a lot of blood and dismemberment in this series. Way more than any Kamen Rider, which is fucking mind-blowing. Aside from that, I guess I could talk about my favorite Kamen Rider designs. I do like Kamen Rider Wizard. I don't know what it is about his design. It's just the fucking cape and everything. It just looks so fucking cool. But this video has gone on long enough. If I wanted to do a breakdown on every Kamen Rider series I've watched, then we'd be here for literal hours. Kamen Rider is something that I wanted to talk about on the channel for a while because I love the series and a lot of the costumes for all the different Kamen Riders. So for my fans out there that expect me to talk more about Kamen Rider in the future, don't worry, I will. And for my fans out there that haven't watched a single Kamen Rider series, I'd recommend you watch a series that looks interesting to you, or watch ones that I recommended in this video, which were Kamen Rider W, Den-O, and Amazon Riders. If you have any favorite Kamen Rider, please leave it down in the description down below. I would really like to know who's your favorite or what series your favorite, and I also want to hear your thoughts on them. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. This is a very short video. I just wanted to talk about Kamen Rider, and hopefully in the future I will also talk about more Kamen Rider, or maybe I could tackle a specific series and talk about that a whole lot. But yeah, that's going to be it for me. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like, favorite, comment on videos. I'll see you guys when I see you guys real soon. But until then, don't be a stranger. Bye!